All right, good afternoon. I'm just recording, just disclaimer, I'm recording this session just in case other parents have similar questions, and we might just use this video as an information portal when we grow and we don't have to use phone calls anymore for information sessions. So good afternoon. My name is Nomveliso Mbanga. I'm with Enge and Utabu, and they're both our associate teen coaches. And I'm also with Usulezi, our assistant. And we are hosting this session as an information session about everything teen coaching, from teen coaching sessions to the process of teen coaching, to the things about teen coachings that matter, to who is who in teen coaching. Sometimes we refer to other teen coaches, and then parents don't know the other teen coaches. And I wanted to bring everyone in one place so that you get to know who you'll be working with. So before we start, I just want to have an indication of which grades are your kids doing, so that I speak from a space of knowing. So I'm handing over admin hosting to you so that you can accept people coming in. So as a start, may I please ask your kids' age, not age groups, the grade that they're doing next year. The grade that they're doing next year.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Danana here. I've got a grade 6 and grade 10 next year.
Grade 6 and grade 10 next year. All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Can I ask just briefly as well their age groups or their current age?
It's 11 tomorrow and 14.
Okay. The 14-year-old, will he or she be 15 years next year?
Yes, she'll be 15.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you so much. Another parent, I see in the chats, grade 6 and grade 7. Grade 6 and grade 7, and we have grade 5, 8 to 12. Oh wait, Lerato, you are in a tutoring center in Mpumalanga. Okay, I hear you there. And then Spindile is grade 7 and 13 are in between meetings. Oh, she's turning 13, okay. And then we have grade 6, grade 3, grade 6, and grade 7. And we have a grade 11. Currently, he's 18 years of old. May I ask the parent of the one in grade 11, did he repeat a grade at some point?
Morning.
Hi, Lungile.
Yes, he did. I made him to repeat grade 10 because he didn't get good results in maths and physics.
Okay.
Yes.
How was his response to being made to repeat?
It was not good. Then with his father, we decided that, okay, then at least he must just change school because we are afraid of the stigma and thinking that it will even pull him down more. Then he changed school, then it was a bit better.
All right. So he was in a new school this year?
Yes, this last year and this year.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thanks, Mama.
Thank you.
Oh, so he repeated grade 10 in a new school. Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
perfect. Thanks, Mama. Let me just
Okay.
my daughter is 14, grade 9 next year. Okay. I'm looking at the age. I was wondering if it's 14 in grade 9, 14. Oh, it's fine. Okay, all right, okay. So the reason I'm asking about the age things is just to give you an idea of how we do the groupings per age. So we start working, so parents often ask me, at what age do you take teens? And I often say from grade 5, because we don't use age. And I'll explain briefly why we don't necessarily use age, although we would look at 10-year-olds, but grade is much more easier to work with because we are working with the South African schooling system. And sometimes you could easily find a child who is in grade 5, who might be, say, 14 years of age. And then that gives us an indication of almost learning delays, which helps us to know exactly what we're dealing with. And sometimes you find that we have a 10-year-old who might be in grade in grade 5, in grade 9, and sorry, a 10-year-old who might be in grade 4, and we work with grade 5, and so it doesn't help us in any case. So we work with grade 5s to grade 7s for primary school. So we accept grade 5 to grade 7 to primary school. And this was a choice that I made briefly because I used to work at a corporate company that used to fund scholarships to high school learners. So we used to do almost like a road show of the scholarship in different regions. We will go to the Eastern Cape, we will go to KZN, we will go to Limpopo or Bulugane, or we will go to, in fact, the different regions. So I used to go mostly to the Eastern Cape and also KwaVenda and also the KZN, and then Joburg and then Cape Town, because the offices were in Cape Town. What we would do, firstly, the roadshows was to explain the scholarship and what the scholarship was about. And also the intake point was they would take young people who are currently in grade 6 and going to grade 7 in the following year, but they were strict about accepting kids who are in grade 6. It's the same model that is used by the Oprah Winfrey Academy, same model that is used by the SSP, Student Sponsorship Program, same model used by Alan Gray of his foundation. And these 3 are the top scholarship companies in the country. So I've worked closely with most of them. So they accept, or they start their admission process from kids who are in grade 6. And then they work with them in terms of they do their paperwork, and then from grade 7, they then do interviews, and then they do camps. I noticed that a lot of children who are then in grade 6 often are not ready for these opportunities, in the sense that they will get to the interviews. We don't call parents in for the interviews. We want to talk to the child. They will either cry, they fall apart, they will not know what to say, by mercy. But you'd find that children who've been prepared for such opportunities will get to an interview session and know how to speak for themselves. They will still cry because sometimes we ask personal questions, but they will say, "Excuse me, ma'am," and then they continue the interview. Whereas a child who's not emotionally ready will cry and fall apart and want their mama, and then they will never come back again. And the reason why they did interviews that way, they were trying to see if a child can withstand high school on their own, in the sense that a lot of the 3 top scholarships, they place their kids in boarding schools and in a boarding school format. So they needed to see if these children would thrive and be okay in that space, or if they're just not emotionally ready. While we were doing the roadshow, now I noticed a good team. In most cases, our children, the Black kids, are just not ready. They're often not ready for what is required and expected from the academics point of view, the emotional point of view, and then the mental point of view. I then thought, if I position my interventions to start coaching grade 5s, so that they are mentally and emotionally ready for these opportunities, then we have a better way of handling this. And then I also noticed that sometimes there are 10-year-olds who can speak for themselves and be okay. And then there are 10-year-olds who behave like 5-6-year-olds who just cannot sit still. They cannot have a conversation because of their background. Then I thought, let's just focus on the grade 5s going up. Can I just close my window, this grass cutting? So that's why we start from grade 5s, because sometimes some 10-year-olds are just not ready, in the sense that the way that life coaching works, you need to have an interaction with the child. Although with the preteens, we do try and make it as interactive as possible because of that age group, but you still need some level of interaction. And most of the time, they just don't want to talk about serious stuff. So we leave that to play therapists and we focus on the grade 5s. That way, with the grade 5s, we're able to say, hang on, in 2 years' time, you go into high school. So let's come together, let's focus. It's easier for us to do that. And also, I do believe that the grade 4s and the grade 3s, they must just play, it's okay, it's life. They will be serious one day when they get to the end, the last part of primary school. So that's the first part. And then we have the grade 8s to the grade 12s, which is a different grouping altogether. So this is how we work. Teen coaching has 3 core elements. It's emotional intelligence, it's family dynamics, and it's academics excellence. We call it now intellectual growth. That's the 3, we call them pillars, or 3 parts or 3 elements that we focus on. In every coaching conversation, we will ask a teen, how are you doing emotionally? Do you understand emotions? Do you understand how to read your own emotions? When you're sad, what do you do? When you're feeling angry, what do you do? When people are angry at home, this is the family dynamics part, what do they do? And how do you respond to them when they're feeling angry at home? And then that's the family. And then we ask also, when it comes to academics, how do you feel about your academics? Do you feel like they represent your true potential or not? And when you look at your school report, how do you feel about it? So that's the emotional part of it. We find that the emotions part almost play into every area. In a nutshell, our work is academic work, but I understood, Guti, for a child to do well in academics, they need the emotions in check. They need the family dynamic side of things in check. They also need, they need to know what they know, what they don't know. Because if they don't know what they don't know, then they're gonna fail consistently. So this is what we then focus on, those 3 different pillars. Can I pause there and see if there's any questions before I talk more? Okay.
Sisvi?
Yes.
How are you? Just for clarity.
Yes, Mama.
I'm in a bad network area, but just for clarity.
Yes.
So you start, preteen starts from grade 5 to 7.
Yes, Mama.
It doesn't necessarily matter the age of a child.
Yes, it doesn't matter the age. Yes.
Okay. So when a child is in grade 5, then it's a preteen. If it's
Yes.
still in grade 4, you don't have to sign them up for camps, right?
If they're in grade 4, they wait, because even for camps, we start from the grade 5s.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, grade 5s. I was gonna say something around that question. What else were you asking me? So sometimes I have had a parent who said to me, my child is in grade 7 and he has failed grade 7, and my child is currently 14 years of age, 15 years of age, but doing grade 7, let's say 15 years of age. And they will say to me, can you please not include my child with the grade 7s because he's older than them and I don't want my child to feel left out. You know? So I've heard this plea before, and in most cases I would say no, we can't, in the sense that even the way that we do teen coaching, we look at academic performance and we look at the factors that influence academic performance. So if your child is 15 years of age and doing grade 7s, there are certain things based on the academics that they might not be grasping or doing well or whatever that they need to deal with or that they need to handle and grapple with. And it becomes a disservice to your child if we jump them over with another group just because we want them to feel good about themselves. What's also going to happen is that if we jump them to mix them with the high school kids, they are not in high school born, they're still in grade 7. So what's going to happen is when we talk about high school life, your child is going to be lost because they don't know what is happening in high school. So they are not at that same level. And also if they are 15 years of age, they get to a high school group and they hear another 15-year-old talking about grade 9, it messes up their self-esteem, because then it shows them, I am not in the same league with these young people. So, so this is why we're very strict about it. I'd rather we assist your teen to handle the challenge of being older in primary school, so that encourages them to pay attention, for them to push themselves to get to high school. Because in most cases, you find that the reason why because primary school is easy to pass, except for a teen who just doesn't have structure at all, and also a structure at home doesn't exist. This one particular child, the reason why they were delayed in the grade is because the parents took them to a school that was not registered with the government, and as such, they went to a Christian school. Most of them are not registered, and they don't have tests. And then they realized later on, even the child was not paying attention in class, because there was no policy that was governing things. So there was a lot of rules that he was breaking, a lot of things that he was not learning about behavior, about academics, about everything else, but even the environment was not supporting that. So we need to then use coaching as a way of saying, okay, in spite of the environment you're in, change how you do things so that you can move into a different space altogether. So that's the last part that I wanted to say. And then if I touch on the camps briefly, so that we move to one-on-one coaching. With the camps, we say grade 5 to grade 7s, because we talk about high school readiness with everyone. And then we talk about academics and high school readiness with everyone. And we talk about life in high school and what is required for them to get help, meaning or easily as knowing how to ask for help from their parents at home. We mix the two genders at primary school because mostly they're still young. In most cases with preteens, we get 10 to 11 and 12-year-olds, same age group. And the truth is they only care about playing. They don't think about sex and all that stuff. And parents are often afraid of that one thing only for some weird reason. When we get parents not comfortable with us mixing boys and girls, the only thought that most parents have is that, what if they have sex and sneak out and whatnot? And often they don't even think about that. And then what we do very, very well is that our sessions are very contained. We are always there in their faces. Even if it means we are playing with them when we need to play. We don't get this, we don't do that. We become part of the crew, and we have contained conversations that address even the topics parents are not comfortable with, inclusive of sex, which we do discuss in good, great detail, scary detail, because we want to call things as they are. We want to call things out. We want kids to ask us the right questions. We need kids to not hide in the bushes. We need them to be here and talk to us about things. So that's how we handle preteens. Teenagers, we don't do that. We don't mix the genders with teens. We separate the girls and the boys for one thing only. We call it hormonal patrol. In where I used to work at Allen Gray, they mixed the genders because there's a team there. But also we didn't sleep, because we had to do hormonal patrol. With teens, it's different. The hormones are sky high. There's vibing, so I don't want that drama. So now I just separate them. We have different camps for girls and different camps for boys. It doesn't mean that, and just because it's girls only and boys only, there's no drama. There's always going to be drama, but the difference is that we just want to contain it in certain ways. So that's what we do. But then the other thing about it is that every camp that we do is academics specific, but then we focus on the various factors that affect academics. We talk about absent fathers, absent mothers, death in families. We talk about dating and everything else. But I will send you the program. So that's what we do the most. So I want to end this part about the camps. Any questions about the retreats before I move to the reason why we're here for one-on-one coaching? Any questions about the camps? Let me check the chat box for any questions about the retreats. The price for the retreats has not changed, it's still the same. I'm a very sweet person by nature, so we haven't changed the price, it's still the same as last year. Okay, there are no
We
questions.
thank you for that.
Thanks, Terry. So we are here. So we wanted to talk about one-on-one coaching, né? And I wanted to highlight that along the years, I've moved to refer most of the one-on-one coaching to our teen coaches for different reasons. And you guys can ask me all the questions that you have. The way that we do the referral process is that I'm given the term the principal of teen coaching. And then the teen coaches, we have two different types of teen coaches. We have independent teen coaches and we have associate teen coaches. The independent ones are the ones that do the course and then they just go away and live life on their own, but still do coach teenagers on their own. The associate teen coaches are the ones that are very, very close to me in the sense that we refer clients to them. I have monthly coaching supervision sessions with them, and we will congregate together to talk about best approaches to a particular issue that a team is having. So those are our associate, and this is the two of them, Enge and Ujabu. Enge is based in China, not Japan. In China, is it the other way around? Get it wrong. Enge is based in Japan, not China, but she's from South Africa. But she studies that side. So she has a passion for preteens. So I give her all the preteens. And then we work around best practices for preteens. So what I also wanted to emphasize around the preteens, because I do want us to honor the preteen space, is that because she's based abroad, it's a great thing for preteens. Né? One thing is that, we need the preteens to be comfortable with online learning. We need the preteens to be comfortable with e-gadgets, like knowing how to use their gadget as a learning tool, as a coaching tool as well. It could be a tablet, it could be a phone, or anything, so that they have access. Also, I know kids are very impressionable with it's a cool factor as well, because my teen coach is in Japan. It's a cool factor as well. So sometimes we use that to our advantage. But also, Enge understands preteens. She's also a teacher that side in primary school level type of age group. Enge, do you want to introduce yourself?
My name is Enge.
Hi, Enge, your voice, your sound is playing around with us. Your audio is doing that thing you did the other time, a long time ago. Remove your audio.
Let me change.
Try talking and see.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, perfect, Mama, perfect.
Okay, thank you. My name is Enge. I live in Japan. I was born in Limpopo. I've lived in Johannesburg. My first encounter with preteens was I was a grade 4, 5, 6, and 7 teacher, science teacher in Ekurhuleni. So I had my first experience of being with preteens for 2 years back to back. I have been here in Japan for 5 years, and again, I am faced with preteens and teenagers every day. My superpower is that the young ones just come to me, despite the language issue, they come to me and just tell me stuff. Even in group sessions, if they really want to talk, they find a space to talk and tell me stuff that's like personal or something that they feel I should know. So I use that charisma to my advantage. And other people think preteens are too energetic or you can't control them. I don't think so. I love being with them. Thank you.
Thank you, Enge. And then we also have Ujabu. Ujabu handles both teen boys and teen girls. She's based at Rustenburg, but she is very close to Johannesburg, to Pretoria, to wherever. So it's a very comfortable space for her to be at. And yeah, please Jabu, please introduce yourself. I'm managing noise from my son and from the grass cutting, so excuse me, guys.
Wow. I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me properly? All right. Hi, everyone. Hi, parents. I'm Jabu. Everybody calls me Jabu. The name is Jabu. This is Ngablana. As stated, I am based in the Northwest, right in the middle of between Brits and Rustenburg. And yeah, and I am a teen coach. And so I do teenagers, as Mrs. Nombe has done. I also do attract quite a lot of young adults as well. So I find that teenagers like Enge, they're just drawn to me. Mostly they ask for my number and I'm like, what's the agenda? It's like, no, we'll tell you. Then people drop their stories on WhatsApp and I'm like, oh, okay, let's do this. So yeah, so it's always been like that for me. I have parented teens from a very, very young age when I was quite young as well. So yeah, so I love teens. So I work more structure with them because I handle the boys and the girls. So there's quite a lot of structure that goes into our sessions. So I normally have online sessions. Also, I do have teens that I do face-to-face with, which are closer to obviously Rustenburg and Brits. So yeah, thank you. Sisby, not back yet. There you go, Sisby.
I was trying to get the grass cutter to cut on the other side, but you can't hear me. All right. So, so this is who we are. This is us as a team. And you will also find that you'll communicate with Usulezi a lot. She handles all of our admin. So I wanted to say for a lot of people, when we refer to teen coaches, they tend to say, oh, we want you. And I don't want you to want me all the time. It's okay for you to want other people as well, because we work very, very closely together. And you won't find me just not caring about what they do or on how they do. And the nice thing about teen coaching is that we tend to draw very mature ladies who are able to say, SSB, I don't know how to handle this one. What should I do with this one? And there are cases even now that even me, there are teens that I can't get through. So I'll send them to Enge or send them to Jabu because I can't handle. Enge gets most of my teens because there are teens that just don't want to open up even to me. And the thing about me that's a problem is that teenagers see me as very close to their parents, and therefore they don't want to interact with me. Please hold, guys. No. Sorry, I was just in negotiate because they're cutting close to me. Okay, so I was just saying, so a lot of teens, they see me now as very close to their parents, mainly because teens are strange. They want their private space. They don't want their parents knowing their stuff, unless they're the ones who tell their parents their stuff. The minute they feel like, this person's going to tell my mom stuff, then they close in. Or if you are a friend, if you come across as if you're a friend with me, then they're not going to trust me. This other teen once said to the mom, like, why are you talking to my coach? Why is she your friend now? Like, what's happening? And that's a problem, because the minute they recognize it, now you're talking to her often, then there's a problem. You're going to sell me out, or she's going to sell me out. So it's important then for me to always refer to the teen coaches. And I find that sometimes parents are kind of scared to allow them. And I'm here to say, please allow them, because we are always going to talk about approach and stuff. So that we were able to grow also as a community, because also really it would be impossible for me to handle everyone. So that's really not possible. And I'm moving more closely to supporting parents, because I needed to create that distinction between me and the parents, so that the teens are able to get support from the teen coaches, and the parents can get support from me. So that's what we are trying to do now. And then the other thing that's also poses to be a challenge in terms of the teen coaching process is we start by communicating with the parents first before we see the teenagers. We need to talk to the parents first. So Usu might call you, but you will have to talk to the teen coach first before we talk to the teens. It's important for your kids' safety that you talk to the teen coaches first. You must interrogate them until you are happy in your soul they've given you the right responses. Nothing wrong with that. And I feel I want to say this, there's nothing wrong with you asking us questions that are going to make you feel comfortable, because that's why we are here. And then once we have that understanding between Wena and the teen coach, that's when we move to the teenager. It's important for their safety that we start with a parent or a guardian. It doesn't happen that we coach a teen without being in touch with the parent. That's not a safety thing to do, because you want to know who's talking to your child and whether you're comfortable with them or not. That's the first part. So once we start interacting with the teen, you must also understand that we will not tell you everything. This is where we will clash with the parents. We will not tell you everything that we talk about. And I need parents to be okay with this, that there are certain things that we can't tell you, and we should not be telling you unless it's something that's going to put your child in danger. Then we have to tell you. We are forced by law to tell you. If your child is suicidal, we have to inform you. If your child is cutting and doing strange things, we have to inform you. But if your child is thinking about umjolo, we can't inform you. There's no need for you to know, because we can contain it from our side. Because sometimes it's something very petty that they're going through, and they can't discuss it with you. And in most cases, they don't want to talk to you because they respect you, and they want to create that distance between their staff and you as a parent, and that's okay. And we are in a space where we would love parents to honor that process and trust that when we do a feedback session between you and your child, you won't ask us in details of, you've been talking for the past 6 months, but you're only telling me one sentence of what you guys talked about. No, that can't be. So we can't have that, because I'll tell you, because now I can tell you, the biggest thing that teens would probably also fight about, or that they would with themselves, is sometimes it's just how they see themselves, their body image. It can mess up their confidence in big ways. And then they fight with their girls about their body image, plus the fact that the other one has got smaller boobs, the other one's got bigger boobs. And it's a big thing because the boys are looking at the bigger boobs and not my smaller boobs, And those things are big things to teens. And when I was a parent, I think, this thing, am I paying for this? What you don't know is that in that process of them fighting about the boobs, there was someone who touched them inappropriately at some point. Because we're going to ask, hi, boobs, right? That's just boobs. They're like, no, it's not just boobs. You see, when I was 6 years of age, this other person, and now we get to the core of what's happening. You see what I mean? So sometimes it might take 1 session, 2 sessions for us to get the nitty-gritty of things, and that's okay. And sometimes we need the team to trust. Sometimes best tester to see if the things that they say to us, they won't hear them from the parent. And that's my thing with parents. When we tell you stuff, I think parents can't help themselves. Sometimes some things, they come up when you're angry at them. The teen knows what they told you about that one particular thing. They know, I told Angie about this thing. And now I hear my mom showing jabs at me about something. Hey, something like that. I'm not talking again. And so that's why we say, please trust us that we will always do what's best for your child. There are instances where we're going to come to you and say, listen, we need more information about this. There are situations where I've said to parents, let's gossip about this, but please don't talk to your teen about it. There are things like that where when I need more information. But when that happens, and when you talk to your teen, then it's over. Like it's over. The child will not trust me ever again. There was a situation at a camp set up where a teen was not happy with a new stepmom, and I needed an approach that the mom should have so that she's not very harsh and abrasive, so that at least. And then, so I said to the mom, when you get home, don't address this. Sometimes I give you pointers in terms of how to handle things. I said, don't address this, just wait a little bit, 2 months, and then address it this way. But the mom could not handle it. 2 hours after, was giving the child, how could you tell the speakers? And then the child just never wanted to come to camp ever again. So that's the problem. When we share and you talk to the child, it blocks them trusting another person to ever open up to them again. So it blocks their chances of them receiving the right help, because then they will not trust anyone ever again. We will give feedback, of course, to the parents so that you know what you're dealing with, but allow us the space to earn the trust, to build the relationship, to see the work, and then focus on it. And then also what we do at pre-teen level, we do need the parents to be the ones that give the teen coaches the school reports, because the school reports are an indicator for us for changes and growth in the child's life. It's the school report. But at teen level, we will ask the teen to be the one who gives us the school reports. It's different. At pre-teen, you as a parent, you hold that power. At teen level, we need them to hold responsibility towards the shift and changes for their academics, not the parent. And in most cases, at teen level, we're going to say to parents, as far as possible, don't get into their space around academics. Give them the resources, ask them what they need, then allow the teen coaches to do the work. You'd find that in most cases, when we do it right, your teen will ask you, or will talk to you, hey, I'm not doing well in maths. Yes, I don't know what to do. Or, we will guide them how to have conversations with you that's going to assist you to at least play the parent role as well. Did I say everything? Did I leave out anything? Did I leave out anything? There's a lot to get into coaching, so I could leave out. So we do, teen coaching can be very personal. Oh yeah, can be very personal. And I need parents to trust that we will hold those things in confidence. We will not, I talk a lot, but I never talk about people's issues and stuff, because we hold those things into confidence. So where it becomes tricky in teen coaching is that parents are always afraid we will judge them once the teens start talking. Of course, the kids will start talking, but we will not judge you for it, because we understand parenting has its ups and downs. Today, you're going to have it together, no shouting and no screaming and nothing. But tomorrow, also a shouter, it's life, it happens. As long as your child has a space that's going to be a safe space for them and a buffer for them to know how to handle things when things are bubbling over. And then they can say, you know what, Mom, I don't like how you spoke to me the other day. And then now people say, you must tell me how to talk to you. I say, okay, then I heard you. Sis V, this child said to me, then I'll guide you in terms of how to handle it. So let's handle it that way. I'll take questions. I'll take questions. While I look for questions, from grade 5 to grade 7, right from grade 5, we prepare kids for high school. Straight from grade 5, we prepare for high school. Every mindset that we teach them is towards being ready for high school. That's the mindset for all the kids, grade 5 to 7. Our recommendation is that try not to take the short package of 6 months. Let's do a year, full on year, so that you are able to know what your child has done. He's got enough support, full on year as a start, and then longer. On my side, I'm taking longer. I need 3 years with your child. And I'll tell you the principle around this. There's a teen boy I was saying beginning of the year, because there was a problem with their school. So the parent called me, I spoke to the child and I said, let's meet again the next month. They didn't come back that next month. They didn't come back again the 3rd month. And then there was a problem at school, and then the parents came back. And then the teen was like, "This is sweet, but I wanted to see you the other term and the other month, and I couldn't see you, and I didn't know why I couldn't see you." And then there was a problem at school with my friends. So you see what I mean? Sometimes you might think that you are saving by cutting the session so short, but you don't know what's going to happen because kids are still growing. They are going to make mistakes. They are going to make mistakes because that's how they learn and how they grow. We need to know that they have someone that they can run to for support. Because in this situation now, they called me when the child is getting expelled. And the child got into a hectic fight where better another girl child. And now the schools are very strict around, they call it gender-based violence, even at high school, at primary school level. So the critic was like, "Miss V, but he didn't say gender-based violence." So, and I asked this thing, "What is gender-based violence?" Okay, I'll explain it to you. So, but then when a child starts fighting at primary school, you must know that there are deeper issues there that will not take 3 sessions or 6 sessions for you to handle. You need a full-on year to 2 years minimum for you to even start looking at the issues, because in this one team, the mom is not raising her, the dad is not raising him, the aunt is the one. At school, they don't know that the aunt is not the biological mom. So there are different things that the team is playing with. So you see, it requires a long time. And then at high school level, from grade 8 to grade 9, we prepare them for subject choices and career inclination and choices and understanding. And from grade 8 and grade 9, they must have their top 5 career options, even if they have no clue what those are. They must just have a choice. 5 career options between grade 8 and grade 9. We then use those 5 for them to understand what they need to achieve in their academics, for them to be able to choose their core subjects in grade 10 with ease. From grade 10 to grade 12, we prepare them for tertiary overseas. And by overseas, I mean they must be open to earning 90% average and not less. All of our kids from grade 5 to grade 12, we say the minimum that you get with us, we focus on achieving 70% and not less. And then we work around how you get the higher numbers. And that's how we handle our coaching. You'll find that a lot of kids, grade 8 and grade 9, when they get bad marks in grade 10, it's because they didn't grasp what they needed to do. And also there was no structure in place. And then you find that at grade 11 and grade 12, the biggest problems we see are kids with the wrong subject choices. A child who's in grade 12 who wants to be an engineer, and they have maths lit and history and geography, and you're like, what? And tourism. And then it's impossible. It deflates them, it eats up their confidence because they've made the wrong choices when they were in grade 9, in grade 10. So that's how we work. I'm gonna take questions. Now I can talk the whole day about this work because I love what we do. Questions, mamas?
Hi, Sis V.
Yes, mama.
So just for clarity, the difference between my understanding after this explanation between the camps and one-on-one coaching is that the camps is just touching on these 3 things that you mentioned, but it's just a short term. So
Yes.
one-on-one, it's where you actually are trying to raise a well-balanced children.
Yes.
So when you give feedback, let's say maybe there's no issues at all that are life-threatening. It's a matter of just letting me know that your child
Yes.
is at this point in life.
Yes.
The
In fact,
camps is just to check. It's maybe a first step for a parent to actually know what is
Yes.
going on.
yes.
Okay.
Perfect. And also, we encourage as far as possible for parents to not wait until the problem happens before you get a teen coach. Don't wait, because the minute you see a problem, that problem is already deeply rooted already. So it takes a while to fix it. So what we need, with Untabi, because I know your daughter, first up, I'm going to talk about how you ace that leadership role because I know her. She loves talking. She loves drama. She's dramatic. She's this person. She's big. She's bold. You know, she's that person. And a child who is that bold and big in spirit, the schools don't know how to contain them. So what you do is you channel that energy to say, Baba, have you thought about debating and speaking club? Okay, let's enter there. And then when you get there, Baba, ignore the quiet little people there, ignore them. Get to be the national speaker of the group quickly, because that's who they are. Because if a child like that does not get challenged, also by a bully of note, and you're going to get fights left, right, and center, but your child and bullied so-and-so, because there's nothing that is containing who they are. So in one-on-one, we're able to zone in and say, okay, this is who you are. This is what you can do with yourself. These are your aspirations for tertiary. This is what you can do to achieve those, and this is what you can do to get there. It needs to be consistent. It needs to be a growing phase, and you need to be open to that process as well. One of the things that I appreciate about my old job, and this is something that I was very strict about, even with my old job, I said to them, give me grade 8s, because I joined the company when already the scholarship was already done. So what they would do, they would change kids every year. And I was like, no, don't even give me grade 12. I said to them, give me grade 8s, né? And then the same group until they leave high school. And that's how we are able to have a much more deeper impact, because from grade 8, we then learn who this person is. We learn their insecurities. We learn things that they fear the most. We learn how they handle a new environment. We learn how they navigate finding friends and all that drama. In grade 9, we review their friends. And we go like, that one, you must dump that friend. You see what they did the other time, that other month in grade 8. You know what they did that time? Not a good friend. Let's get rid of them. So we learn them. We're able to channel and direct them proper, and also we're able to help them to pay attention to the academics. On my side, the biggest thing about teen coaching is that you will know through academics if your child has been in our hands or not. You will know, because there's always going to be a shift in academics, and often it's a beautiful shift upwards.
Okay, now this will be directed at Yanke. Did I pronounce it right? So, for an example, my son is turning 10 next year, June, but he will still be in grade 4. And then there was a reason why he was a sickly child when he grew up, so he spoke a little bit late. So now, if I see a need of a one-on-one session, can I still proceed? And then we take him to work with the Yankee, besides him going to camps. Then he will start to do camps when he's in grade 5.
Enge, over to you.
I think we said the age would be grade 5. So let's wait until he gets to grade 5, unless there is major issues that you really feel he needs attention. But if he's still within his grade, I don't think you need to rush yet.
Thank you.
Are you saying he's 10 years currently?
No, he's going to turn 10 next year, June.
Sorry?
He's going to turn 10 next year, June.
So he's currently 9 years of age.
Sorry, I'm trying to kill a call that is coming through here. Sorry.
Okay. So he's currently 9 years then?
Yeah.
In grade 4?
Grade 3. It's a bit confusing. Yes, I know.
Don't rush the baby. It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay. I must relax.
Relax, Mama. Relax. What I can just recommend.
Cool.
What I can just recommend. Just get him. If he had delayed speech, just get him more books to read, and more stuff that you can play around that has words and spellings and stuff.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions, Mamas?
Okay, I do have a question.
Yes.
For you spoke about also assisting the kids with their subject choices.
Yes.
My daughter is going to be doing all grade 10, so he's already made the choices, but he had only 2 career choices. he didn't want to look at any other thing.
Mm.
So now I'm trying to understand is, will they, if I book a session for her, will it help in terms of maybe catching up and ending up maybe making those right choices? Or I think you get what I'm trying to say. I hope you.
Can I just ask upfront? Is she currently in grade 10 this year?
No, she's doing next year. So, but they've already.
It's time. It's time. It's still time. So this is what I like about this program. Tell me, has she chosen pure maths?
She's chosen pure maths. She's chosen it's maths, science, history. There's EGD. The reason why she says, okay, yeah, I think so. The reason why is because she only has those two choices. She say architecture and law. So, and that's it.
All right. So she has not made a grave decision as yet. The only thing that we'll probably work with is around the exact careers. As in, those can change, which is fine, and the teen coach can work with her around that. The most grave thing, or the most grave deep thing about subject choices is when a teen has chosen pure maths, and then there's history, and then there's something else. So that's deep in the sense that you can't change. There's no movement, and there's no space for a teen to change when they've got pure maths. It closes them off all options. Once there's pure maths and science, they can do any course they want. Any course they want. But the minute there's no pure maths, they're only limited to a few. And this is the thing about our education system. When the Department of Education was changing the subjects around, and they introduced pure maths and the 40% marks, the universities said, hang on, let's move these top careers out of this space. Let's put them all under pure maths as a core admission point. And this is where the top paying careers are sitting under pure maths. Sometimes even science is not a big deal unless a child wants to do science related or science requiring career paths. So I prefer keeping science and maths sometimes, because if I'll make an example, I had a teen boy who wanted to be a musician for university. And I said to him, and he was doing pure maths and science, and he didn't really know, or the teachers were saying he must drop those for drama and maths. And I said, that's not gonna happen, ever, 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 ever. Stick to your pure maths, I say with a 90%, and then when you are done, you have options. You can then decide whether you truly want to do music or you truly want to do an engineering course. In fact, even if you take the music route, if you decide 20 years later that actually you want to do stats and you want to do an engineer, you can, because your subjects will support you. But anything outside of that, it blocks opportunities for you. So in a nutshell, yes, we can work with that one.
Thank you.
Okay.
I have a question though,
Yes.
for the parent. She said the daughter had only two choices.
The career choices.
Like,
She only made two.
so those are the two choices she is interested in.
Yes.
Okay, not that there is any sort of limit. But that's
No.
what she's
There's no
interested
limit. Conversation with her is there's no limit. I even tried to introduce her to some other, careers that are out there, like, like they will say what's this new term that's going around, the 4IR thing and all that. But she was like, no, this is what I like. And even in law, she said she wants to be in the, what is thing? Conveyancing, that kind of thing. He just wants, he wants anything to do buildings, and that's it. So, but I was just thinking, let me just encourage you to do the maths, the pure maths, like what Usuzvi is saying, so that if she wants to change into something else, at least she's got more options. If she discovers something else, let's say from now up to varsity.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to clear the two choices part because I wasn't understanding if that was her own choice or a given choice or something you've been told. That's the only limit, but that's perfect.
All right. Yes.
Sorry.
Any other questions?
Can you-
Yes, Jabu?
It's me. Can you just maybe address with the parents? We normally get an influx towards the end of the year because the month. Please, can you just address that one?
Yes. Okay. So the biggest recommendation that we need to make all the time is that the best time to sign a teenager is right at the beginning of the year in January. If you notice in Tabi, we do all of our retreats at the beginning of the year, February and March, mainly because at the beginning of the year, we can look at the mistakes that they made in the previous year. We can review those, and then the team can see where they did things wrong. And then they have the first term to practice achieving good marks. If they don't get the good marks in the first term, they then have the second term to practice getting good marks. And then because the second term is a mid-year mark, mid-year and December are the core terms that a lot of institutions look into. Even the exams are much more stronger in mid-year and in December. So then what we do is in the mid-year, we say, okay, let's do a mid-year review from the beginning of the year to here in terms of your performance and behaviors and home and everything. Then we look at what can we try and change realistically. Then the team has the third term to achieve marks. And then the third term would then build up their confidence, and then we get the final report in December. What tends to happen is that parents look at the first term and say, oh, it's okay. And then mid-year, they're like, yo, this child, yo. And then third term, the parents panic, yo, the year is over. This child is going to fail. Call a teen coach. There's nothing that we can do with one term. Absolutely nothing we can do with one term. Because the way that we work, the first thing we're going to say, ooh, Baba, you got 40%. Hi. We're working towards 70%. If we have only one term in December, that's going to be too much pressure for the child. They're going to run away from us. They will not want to talk to us because how can my mom do this to me, And also as a parent, you're going to feel pressure that you're going to pay for this service because you believe it's going to make a huge change, and it's not going to happen in one term. At the beginning of the year, we're able to say to a child, yo, so we like playing with words, like we would say, last year you got 20% before you met us. That's not going to happen again. Now that you've met us, we need to make, big moves like 70s and 80s. They're going to be like, yo. Ma'am, I've never received them now. 40%, 60, 80%, never. And then we say, let's test it out and see what's going to happen. Let's just challenge yourself. In the first term, they have movement. They feel good now, but okay, let's try this fee and see what's going to go. And then the second term, we are able to say, yo, okay, fine, you didn't get the 70%, but look at you got 50%. That's like 20% changes. Like, look at you. Now see what else you can achieve. And then since they love a challenge, they go like, sorry, let's go. So at the end of the year, it's impossible to make any changes unless you are open to say, I'm signing my child up to end in December and then move towards the following year.
A question from my side, Sisive. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Hi. I just want to know, I think mine is directed to Jabu. I have a teenage boy who is going to be transitioning from rural Eastern Cape to Cape Town. There are no underlying issues, but I do want to say that it's going to be the first time that he stays with me full time, and not like now holidays and when we have leisure and all of that. So one is academic transition that I am a bit concerned about. I'm not sure how he's going to handle the environment. But at the same time, I would want to have services maybe for all his now high school years. He's going to be doing grade 10 next year. and he is turning 16. So it's going to be grade 10, 11, and 12. I'm not sure with the transition if he needs now to be with Jabu or Sisinve, but there are no underlying issues. Can I be assisted, or how do I go about that? I definitely want to sign him up for full-time, full-year program, but who do I sign him up with? Thank you.
You are going to sign him up with Ujabu, and I am going to assist Ujabu to ensure that the onboarding of everything is working properly. I'll tell you the challenge that he's going to have. He's going to have a challenge with coming from a rural community. The palette and how we speak is going to be different. It's a thing in the other schools because kids tend to judge themselves based on how they sound and based on how you speak the English language. It can eat away a child's confidence. And having Ujabu around will ensure that he is centered and he paces himself so that he's open to learning and stay connected with himself. The other problem that he's going to have is that the workload is going to be different from here to that side. The approach to learning, the approach to teaching, the approach to the environment is going to be completely different. In the Eastern Cape, things are very slow paced, like very slow paced. From learning to the environment around to how things are done. When he gets to the Eastern Cape, things are going to be completely different. He will need to improve his work approach. He will need to have a strong structure and build consistency in terms of him paying attention to his approach to his work. And also he will need to learn to ask for help, to say, hey, Jabu, I'm not coping here. And what else can I do for me to cope? So I would recommend Ujabu, mainly because I know she's going to be okay there. And me and Jabu will work on the right strategy for that entire year, so that at least she has also a plan in place. So I'm referring to Jabu.
Thank you, Sisinve. Thank you.
And
I just want to say, okay.
And then I want to say, then sometime in the year, you and me, we would need to have a coaching conversation, in the sense that if this is the first time that she's moving to stay with you, you are going to have challenges. The mothering challenges are going to be there because there are certain things that you are going to do differently from what he is used to. Even if you are staying with a family member, this is going to be the first time that he's staying with you, you being the mom. There needs to be a mindset shift that the way that you do things right now is different from what he's used to. Also, that mother and daughter bond, it needs to be recreated, where you learn to bond with him. And then the value of having a teen coach is it's going to take away that fight about academics, because sometimes I feel like the way that parents bond when they've not stayed with their kids, they tend to use academics. You're not doing well, let's go in. What were you doing the past few years? And then you fight about these academics forever, and it takes away a time for you to bond with your child and recreate your bond again. And then on your side, you have to learn to reparent him over, because now for the first time, you have to reparent him. He needs to know that you are the core parent, and that he can rely and trust in you to be able to take care of things.
Thank you. I just want to say again, I've been back and forth with Sulezi on emails. So I'm so excited. I'm looking forward even to the recommended parenting session. If I can just get on email, the full package and everything, I'm on board and I'm so excited. Thank you. And because I'm at work, if I can exit, I will speak to Sulezi on the side.
Sure. I didn't
Thank
see
you.
the time. Thank you so much. If you have any other questions, please let me know, or let Sulezi know. But if you have, actually, I didn't see the time. It's almost lunchtime is over. So coming to the fees, the teen coaches are all charging $850. But they're always gonna have me. So please don't think that because my price is higher, it's better and whatever. It's not. They're always going to have me, and you're always going to have me in some form. It's just that I prefer to be paid differently. And then we will have other packages as well. But the fee for the teen coaches is $850. And that's going to be a thing for this year. We will probably change it later on in the year.
There are some questions in the chat.
Okay.
I don't know if we'll be able to address them.
Yes. Let me see.
Hello, Sisvi.
Yes, Mama.
Yes, I just want to say thank you so much for this, because personally, my challenge with my son is with the subject choice.
Okay.
He is just lazy.
Okay.
That's the bottom line. And now when he goes to school and the teachers will say, okay, you can go and take maths literacy and tourism, what is those other things of which they don't make sense to me. And my point is, if you are failing if you are not doing well, you shouldn't do well on all these other subjects. And I should see that you are really trying. But if you can say, no, I'm not doing well on maths and physics, then give me the 90s on the other subject. Then I'll be able to see that, okay, you are putting effort, but this is not for you, and I can make some means to try and help you. So yeah, I think this thing, it will help him, and it will make him to see, not to see me as this monster mom who's pushing him to do maths and physics, while other kids, they go out of the class in June.
Perfect, Mama.
Yeah.
That's good. We can definitely assist there, because also the approach that we take also, we get them to see like the career options and what they want to achieve and what is required admission wise. So that would definitely be it. Likona, your question, yes, we take grade 11s. So we take from grade 8 to grade 12s. We emphasize on the entrance ones because it's just easier, but with the grade 11s, I do want to say, as far as possible, let them stay 2 years with us, grade 11 and grade 12, because it's the end of high school in any case, and you don't want to break the consistency around the performance, and a teen coach will assist them to stay on point. So in the case where they don't have the right subject choices, and because sometimes we meet a teen with horrible subject choices, the only thing that you can do is then say, pass these subjects well, like have a great performance in terms of how you pass these subjects, because then once you have a great pass mark, at least you become top of mind for admission at varsities. And then we get the team to choose a career that is in line with who they are, because that's the other problem. They tend to grab whatever career that happens because of their subject choices, and you don't want that. You want them to pass these subjects well and then grab a career that speaks to them so that it's easy for them to excel in that space. So that's for you, Likona. And then I think I shared a little bit about the pricing. It's $850 for per month, per year. You can pay per month, or you can pay 50% pass in advance, or you can negotiate the monthlies or quarterly. And then there was the how often are the sessions with the teen coach is that fee is for once a month. Sometimes a teen might have an emergency in that particular month. They can call a teen coach to talk about it. We don't block those, because sometimes the teen just wants to, maybe they had a crush that's getting out of hand and they need emergency call. Sorry guys, I'm playing with you parents. And we don't say no, don't talk to us. So we allow them to have a conversation. Sometimes there's a pressing thing like a teacher that's bullying them at school and they don't know how to handle it. And of course, we will take those calls, but the sessions are a month and it's 60 seconds, 1 hour fee per month. But because we work with kids, we don't say, oh, oops, your time is up, oops. So we allow 30 more minutes or so for them to talk, but the structured way is just 60 minutes per hour, but we allow them to talk more if need be. I think I've answered those questions. What Sulezi will do what you can do is you can just check with Sulezi in terms of if you're wanting to sign up, and we will, and Sulezi will give me that information, and we will continue doing referral from my side, because I do the referrals and I check who between Enge and Jabu can handle it. But for now, it's the two of us, and then if they are full, and my plate is not so busy, but I don't take chances. I work with parents now. I have graduated.
So me again, says we I sent you a mail yesterday, so I did not include Suleze in it.
Okay.
So must I
She saw
change,
it.
or is that
Don't worry.
fine?
No, she saw it, Mama. Don't worry. She saw it.
Okay.
She has access to my emails.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
So we'll just get how to go about signing up, right?
Yes, yes, yes. She
Oh,
sent
and
you.
another thing that I wanted to check. So the one-on-one sessions are separate from the camp. So we still pay for camps separately,
Yes,
right?
ma'am. Yes.
Okay,
The teams will see me at the camps, and then Ujabu will be coming to the camps because from the other year I'm not doing Joburg camps anymore. So the kids will meet me at camps, and Ujabu as well will be attending the camps. So yes, but then the one-on-ones they will handle the one-on-ones.
My last question.
Yes, Mama.
I think yesterday in your
My rent.
message, yeah. I was not sure whether I can use that. But you did mention something that I'm interested in. You spoke about the payment arrangement.
Yes.
So somebody can come and talk to you directly, or just wanted to know you're open to that.
I am 100% open to that, 100%.
Okay.
Even Sulezi is waiting for people to make arrangements because we've agreed that we allow payment terms. In fact, between now and the camp, you can pay 5 bits until then, as long as you pay before the camp sits. So
awesome.
Those are allowed. That's how most parents are doing it. Everyone just says on the side, listen, let's talk about this money thing. And I'm like, brilliant.
Okay, that's brilliant. Thank you so much.
Right, Mama. And then for those who are perhaps around Pretoria and Brits or Rustenburg, they can communicate a request around in person because I don't think we are just focusing on online. They can request for in person, so that you can communicate. After we do the referrals, Ujabu will also still have a call with you so that they get to know your team a little bit better. So we do that. That first conversation is for us to get to know you a little bit better. And in that conversation, sometimes we do ask personal questions, like uncomfortable ones, like where's the dad of the teen? If it's an absent father, it helps us to know because then we know how to navigate certain conversations with the team, and then makes it easy for us to do the coaching.
You haven't done a traditional way of introducing a PA. We haven't seen Slezo's picture on Facebook.
Yes, yeah, right. Anita, I wasn't sure. Anita, I think I've changed PAs 2 times. So I was of coming across as a monster employer who keeps changing PAs all the time.
I figured.
Yeah, it's Sulezi. So she was also on probation for 2 months as well. So she passed probation with flying colors. So I'll definitely post a picture soon to say this is Sulezi, my assistant. I'll do so. Thanks, Tabi, for reminding me. And Tabi, thank you for always being that person. I think I've known you from camps. Is it 3 years now?
Yeah, you've known me since 2020.
It's been a while. So thank you so much for staying close to the family.
Okay, assisted me a lot.
Thanks, I'm glad, Mama. Oh, and then you must prepare. Besides getting coaching, Tabi, you must prepare Guti, those leadership programs and stuff at school. Your child must get to those prefect roles and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, she needs to be busy from next year.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Mama. I think we are done. And then we will just take it up between us as a team, and we'll communicate the signups. So each teen coach has a limited number that they take. So we'll take people as they come. Ne? Thank you so much. Ujabu and Enge can remain a little bit for me, and Sue. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Over.
Alrighty, bye.
Okay, bye.